Third installment of our exclusive Ingraham angle investigation into the secret 2016 White House meeting on the Bidens and Burisma. One of the Ukrainians in that meeting spoke to the Ingraham angle. Plus, part two of our exclusive interview with President Trump from the March for Life. That's ahead. Over the past few nights, we've laid out details of a 2016 White House meeting between Obama officials and Ukrainian prosecutors. The Bidens and Burisma were the main topic. Now, we discovered the existence of this meeting in an email chain between State Department staffers and the New York Times reporter Ken Vogel. We obtained those emails exclusively. In examining archived White House visitor logs, we came across two names that piqued our interest. The first, the person who checked the Ukrainians into the White House the day of the meeting. Hell, that person has been identified by some as the impeachment whistleblower. The second point, another person at the 2016 meeting, Andrei Telizhenko, he worked at the Ukrainian embassy at the time, and as we reported last night, was quoted in a 2017 Politico article, also by Ken Vogel, explaining how he was forced to work with a DNC operative to hurt Trump. Well, Telizhenko saw part two of our investigation last night, and tonight he's decided to speak out. On being pressured to hobble Trump's 2016 campaign, he told the Ingraham angle, "I was told to work and cooperate with Mrs. Chalupa, a DNC operative, by Ambassador Chali. Chalupa asked me to help her get dirt on presidential candidate Donald Trump. I never coordinated any work with her or the DNC because I did not support the unethical orders to work and assist one party." He also provided these documents, a White House invite, and a schedule of the meeting listing two names, one associated with the whistleblower, whose name we blocked out, and Elizabeth Zentos, both from Obama's NSC. Telizhenko also told us that while the meeting was touted as a, quote, prosecutor's training program, much of the conversation revolved around the Bidens and Burisma. And it wasn't the Ukrainians who brought up Bidens and Burisma. Telizhenko said the representatives of the DOJ, U.S. Embassy in Kiev, and NSC staff raised the question of the Burisma investigation. Most of the NSC staff were people from Biden's team. Wow. You getting this focus now? Joining me now, Byron York, chief political correspondent for The Examiner, and Sarah Carter, host of the Sarah Carter podcast, both Fox News contributors, and Lee Smith, investigative journalist, author of The Plot Against the President. All right, Sarah, how can Democrats continue to claim the Bidens and Burisma have no relevance to this?
They can't. This is the point, and this is the reason why Adam Schiff doesn't want to call the whistleblower. This is the reason why he doesn't want any more information coming out, because what we know now is those connections were so deep inside the State Department. And by the way, it's not only Ukraine. You hear this coming from other countries with the Obama administration, officials in other countries. I give you an example. In Guatemala, the same thing. Pressure from the State Department to do things their way or they'll withhold aid. So this is nothing new. I think right now we're at the cusp of something really big. This is an explosive report, Laura. This is huge and absolutely has to be investigated. But who's going to investigate it? The DOJ? The Senate Judiciary?
Well, someone should be doing this other than the Ingraham angle. Byron.
This could be the nexus between the whistleblower and the Biden-Burisma story, where you have concerns in the Obama White House about Hunter Biden's connections in Ukraine. His father is obviously the vice president. And now we know that the person alleged to be the whistleblower was involved with that. And so it makes it very hard. Senators do not want to, Republicans do not want to call witnesses. They don't want any witnesses. But if they had to have a witness, it seems the whistleblower is the one, because I do not believe it is possible to call for the removal of the President of the United States and say some of the evidence has to say secret. It's just got to be a secret.
To invalidate a presidential election? Lee Smith, that whistleblower's name, if that's a whistleblower, reported whistleblower, is on every log for that meeting, meaning he checked everyone in, from the anti-corruption prosecutor in the Ukraine, where it looks like they were discussing what to do about the in Burisma. That was the focus, and it was billed as something generic so as not to raise eyebrows.
Right. Well, another key point, which you have in the statement from Mr. Telizhenko, is that they're looking for information on candidate Donald Trump. At that point, that seems to cut right to the heart of the impeachment issue here. If their complaint is that the president was looking for information on Biden, and what we're really looking at is, in its sources, they were collecting dirt on candidate Trump. in 2016.
And remember, Senator Grassley, and we should get into this, Senator Grassley and Senators Johnson wrote a request for records from 2016 White House meetings between the Obama administration and the Ukrainian government officials. And they asked for these records. This is an outstanding request for information. Byron, you know this information is out there.
Yep.
You know every single person at that meeting knows a lot about how this started and how the concern about the conflict arose.
I'll tell you, interest in the whole Hunter Biden story among Republican senators has just gone through the roof in the last 24 hours because they believe Democrats yesterday just completely opened the door to it by being so defensive about it. They want to know more now.
Schiff reacted to this today, made this claim.
Now you'll hear the further defense that Biden is corrupt, that Joe Biden is corrupt, that Hunter Biden is corrupt. If they couldn't get Ukraine to smear the Bidens, they want to use this trial to do it instead.
Sarah, this is, in light of what we've now discovered, this is really funny.
This is really funny because right now, not only did he open the door, and the president's attorney, Jay Sekulow, is so right. It's like, why would you go there?